let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared beneath the stars above. For a moment, all the world was right. How could I have known that you'd ever say goodbye? And now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it the dance. Holding you, I held everything for a moment. Wasn't I the king? But if I'd only known how the king would fall, hey, who's to say? You know I might have changed it all. And now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. It's my life, it's better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance.
Take all of your wasted honor, every little past frustration. Take all of your so-called problems, better put them in quotations. Say what you need to say, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Walking like a one-man army, fighting with the shadows in your head, living out the same old moment, knowing you'd be better off instead if you could only say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say. Have no fear for giving in, have no fear for giving over. You better know that in the end, it's better to say too much than never to say what you need to say again. Even if your hands are shaking and your faith is broken, even as the eyes are closing, do it with a heart wide open. Say what you need to say. 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 Say what you need to. Say what you need to. Say what you need to say. 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 Say what you need to say.
Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to Sunrise Ranch and welcome to this memorial service. We're brought together through a common love. We each had our own special relationship with Kristen, but what we have in common is our love and appreciation for her. And also, we have in common the very life that's within us, that brings us together, that allows us to be on this planet. And in the name of that life and in the name of our love for Kristen and our desire to remember her, to mourn her passing, and most of all, to celebrate her life, we're here together today. So again, welcome to this time.
When I think back on these times and the dreams we left behind, I'll be glad 'cause I was blessed to get to have you in my life. When I look back on these days, I'll look and see your face. You were right there for me. In my dreams, I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart, there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am, there you'll be, and everywhere I am, there you'll be. Well, you showed me how it feels to feel the sky within my reach, and I always will remember all the strength you gave to me. Your love made me make it through. I owe so much to you. You were right there for me. In my dreams, I'll always see you soar above the sky.
I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from the beginning until the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth, and he spoke of the following date with tears. But what he said mattered most of all was that dash between the years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth. And now only those who love her know what that little time is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the car, the house, the cars, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down long enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger, and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives that we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect, and more often wear a smile, remembering that that special dash is only for a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, will you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash?
Thank you. As you are, perhaps, I'm reflecting on some of the qualities of character that I knew through Kristen. And I'll tell you the first one that comes to mind. And it's a quality of life itself that she knew so well and brought to her own life and to us. She was irrepressible. Do you agree? Irrepressible. She was not going to be stopped. The life in her would not stop. There was always something else to bring to the moment, and it was as if she couldn't help herself but bring it. And I think it didn't matter who you were. My guess is that everyone she met, she couldn't help but be herself and bring herself to that person. And I think in a very much an equal way, my observation of Kristen was that she treated everyone very much the same. I know I felt that way. With the same irrepressibility, the same kind of love and care, with the same penchant to tell you what she was thinking and to invite you into that next great thing that she was excited about. When someone passes, it can't help but make us think about our own life. And however long it is, the brevity of it, and the preciousness of it, and what we're doing with our dash. I think we had the sense of that from Kristen. I think of another quality, and that was the ability to change her life, to pick up stakes and go someplace, to pick up another project, to do something new, and then to encourage others to do the same. Another quality of Kristen, and a quality of the life, I believe, within all of us. Some of us seem to have more success in holding back that urge to change. Some of us seem to find it easier to keep treading the path that we've been treading, and to somehow put down or repress that urge to be different, that urge to live life to the fullest, that urge to let go of what needs to be let go of and to embrace the new that is there and ready and available. Kristen brought those qualities to us. The passing of someone such as this also calls us to reflect on the cycle of our life, on the dash that we're running. I've been saying to people recently that when I look at my 19-month-old grandson, and I look at him playing, and I hear him talking, not knowing that the words he's speaking don't make sense, I look at him and I think, can anyone say that boy will be any more precious, any more spiritual, any more virtuous than he is right now? There's an innocence in his face and about him. And his life will be, if he's lucky, about the expression of that innocence and the development of his human capacities so that he can live more fully and more fully, so that he can bring himself into the world in a fuller and fuller way, that he can bring the life that he is, the love that he has to bring and the truth that he has to bring into the world, that he can reveal that piece of God that he is, that he was born to bring into the world through his life, and reveal it grandly and beautifully. He may become better, but only better in the sense that he'll be more fully capable of bringing that piece of God into the world. There's no improving him, though. Kristen brought that piece of the divine. She made us feel closer to life itself. And with her own passion to connect so deeply with her own innocence and her own truth, I think she reminded us of that and encouraged us to connect more deeply ourselves, to know more deeply what we came here to reveal, to bring that ray of love and that light of truth that is ours uniquely to bring, so that we might say we are truly living, that irrepressible urge is not only deep within us, but it's shining out through us and encouraging others to pick themselves up no matter what's happened and to keep moving. Does anyone doubt that if we could speak for Kristen today, that's what we'd be saying to each other? That if she could, that's what she would be saying to us. In fact, I know she said as much in the final days of her life to her dearest friends. Keep living. Live to the fullest. And yes, maybe take some time to mourn the passing of something that's been so dear to us, the form of life that we knew as Kristen, in the flesh, that is with us no more. But let that mourning be brief enough to allow for the celebration of who she was, and even more, the celebration of the life that's within us and the expression of it. Brief enough so that the love that we have to give to another person is truly given, so that the truth of who we are, the truth that's deep within us, may be not only deep within us, but activated and lived fully in life. You might say that every life is a lesson. And if Kristen's life was a lesson, I do believe it's this: to live to the fullest, to follow your heart, to follow your truth, and then to live by it. I think it's an uncommon person about whom you could say that they lived their truth. But I'm pretty well guessing that we all in this room here today would say that about Kristen. She lived her truth. She lived her truth. What a noble thing to do. When we truly do that, we are living that piece of the divine that got put in us at birth. We're honoring that of ourselves. And we're honoring it enough to let it grow and let it grow us, even past when we're fully adult, so that we let it grow us in spirit, so that we become bigger of heart and bigger of mind than we have been, so that we can allow more of that divine that's in us out, so that we can show it to other people, and let the smallness of who we are take a back seat to that. For a little woman, she was a pretty big woman, right? For a little woman, she had a towering presence, an irrepressible presence, because she allowed the bigness of who she is to express and come on out. So I share your sadness today. It hurts that we won't be able to set eyes on her in human form and to feel that irrepressible spirit coming forth through her flesh body. And it's sad. But I also feel her admonishment to truly live and to celebrate. So this day is a day of celebration. By her command, I will say. She, in her own irrepressible way, asked us to celebrate. So we will do that on this day, as well as share our tears together and our sadness.
One night I dreamed I was walking along the beach with the Lord. Many scenes from my life flashed upon, across the sky. In each scene, I noticed footprints in the sand. Sometimes there were 2 sets of footprints. Other times there was 1 set of footprints. This bothered me because I noticed that during the low periods of my life, when I was suffering from anguish, sorrow, or defeat, I could see only 1 set of footprints. So I said to the Lord, "You promised me, Lord, that if I followed you, you would walk with me always. But I have noticed that during the most trying times of my life, there have been only 1 set of footprints in the sand. Why, when I needed you the most, have you not been there for me? The Lord replied, the times when you have seen only one set of footprints in the sand is when I carried you.
Hi, everyone. Some of you people may recognize me from the past, and a lot of you don't know who I am. When I started this, I was going to write something down, and I thought to myself, how can you write down 27 years of experiences and emotions? For you, those of you who don't know me, I've been Kristen's best friend since we were 14 years old. Over the last 10 years, we've not had as much contact as I would have liked to, and her as well. And the sad part about this is that the day she left us, September 24th, is very sad for me because on September 26th, we were going to spend the day together, catch up on old times. Like I said, we haven't seen each other in 10 years because life gets busy. Everything that's been said, these songs, the speeches, I can't tell anybody how important it is to not take life for granted. The career that I chose to move away and pursue makes me see very terrible things. And it makes me thankful for what I have and wish that I could have reconnected better. They played that song, The Dance by Garth Brooks, and I was talking to Katrina, and it said Dancing Under the Stars, and I asked her if dancing on the king-size bed with a hairbrush made sense too. We did that many, many times. Her mom was our chauffeur. Even if it was right across the street, she drove us across the street anytime we wanted. She spent a lot of time telling Derek some stuff that we did. Derek told me that we used to whistle at boys. That was more her. No, I'm kidding. We drove down the road as she opened the car door and picked up street cones so we could make our own zone at home. We eventually took them back. I think we had a stop sign or two. And Katrina wasn't innocent, just so everybody knows. She was the little sister that was with us everywhere. Kristen and I did a lot together. When I moved to Colorado, she was the first person that really became my friend. I haven't seen another friend in over 20 years that I met with Kristen, and she's here today too, so that's kind of a treat. We went roller skating together all the time. We were at the mall every day. We were inseparable. We wore matching clothes, I think 90% of the time, all the way down to our shoes. And although we've gotten distant, we've still talked, and it amazes me that when we were texting each other the week that she passed, her biggest concern was all the pain and sadness that her family and her sister felt. That's the only thing that concerned her. She was ready to go, and that's what made her sad. And I have so much regret that I didn't get to see her before she left. Friday didn't come soon enough. God had other plans. And other than being my best friend for 27 years, the greatest gift she gave me that I'll never forget is I met my husband through her. And she introduced me to him. She tried to hook me up with someone else, but it didn't work out so well. And I have 2 beautiful children and a husband because of Kristen. She was coming to visit me, and I was supposed to see her, and I just wish that I could. So please don't take anything for granted. You just never know when your time is going to come. And I just wish that Friday would have been here sooner.
Hello. My name is Robbie Robbins, and Kristen was a dear friend of mine. I first met her probably 2008 or 2009 timeframe, and we were starting a business. I came out of the technology world and wanted to do conscious living work, personal development and spiritual development work. And she met us at a Conscious Conversations and Contemplations meeting that she saw advertised somewhere. And at that time, we were starting a company called Bridge to Bliss, which she just absolutely loved. And she actually influenced a lot of things in all of our lives. One of them being this color. This is actually what we used to wear at our events that we used to put on, and we'd have 200, 300 people come to our events. And we wanted it to, feel upscale but welcoming, and she was dead set that purple was the color that was the most welcoming of the heart. And as it turns out, the company that we started, Bridge to Bliss, also had Purple Hearts in it, and the logos and all that were all purple, and so she was in heaven working with us. When I first met her, I thought, wow, this is a really forward gal. And as I got to know her, as David, grabbed a word to characterize, the way I characterize Kristen is real. I mean, just a real salt of the earth kind of person. No BS, just straightforward telling you what she thought. And I did work with her quite a bit to soften her realness a little bit over the years. She went into personal development programs with us, and it was about, one of the courses that she absolutely loved was called Authn Talk. And it was about facing confrontation and saying what you wanted to say beautifully and powerfully. Well, she had the powerfully down. And we had all these exercises that had some power, so we worked on the beautiful part, and she did great. She latched onto that and became a champion of that phenomenally. And she brought so many people into that world to help change them and their hearts as well, as she was evolving. And one of them being Derek, she drug him in there. She was so in love with it, and we saw Derek change as well. Heart softening, but as the heart softened and the words softened, the power of mission and vision of what the world could be strengthened and got bigger and bigger, as David was saying. And for such a tiny little woman, oh my God, her energy was very, very big. We transitioned into another business called Journeys for Conscious Living, and we started having a lot of events at an event center, which was not too far away from where they lived. And so her and Derek used to volunteer and be there almost every event. What can I do? What can I do? I'll be there early. I'll do this. I'll do that. I can run and go get, supplies or whatever. She was one of the most can-do people I've ever known. And, she was my assistant, and she saw how much I worked. When you own your own business, you work in 18-hour days. And I used to say, conscious living is so exhausting. It's not like laying on the couch and pushing the remote. That's a little easier. And she would look at me some days and come in, and she'd go, I know, conscious living is so exhausting. Get up off your butt. Come on, let's go do this. Let's go do that. And she was a phenomenal motivator. The two last things. The greatest thing that I feel that I have in me now from being with Kristen in my life is a scrappiness, a tenaciousness to overcome anything. She was going to overcome what took her. She just refused to believe that she was not going to be here for a lot longer. I just couldn't believe that, just how strong her spirit was through her pain, through her struggles in that. And even I did get to see her right before she passed. Thank you, Bob, for letting me know that things were progressing quickly. Everybody was sitting around the bed doing attunement. It was a group of emissaries. And her and I were yakking about the football game. It was Monday night. And the Bears were playing. And honestly, she helped me see that attunement and spirituality and everything that we want to be different in the world is about being yourself and being in the moment. About if you love the football game that's on and you see a great play, celebrate it. She loved to celebrate and dance. Oh my God. We had all these events where we had dancing before and after, and she was the first one up on the stage, making everyone get up there and dance and dance and dance and dance. And she was just like this eternal flame in that regard. It's like no matter what we were doing, there was more energy to bring to it. Like here in the community, she used to organize a lot of the Christmas parties when people were gone away, Halloween parties. She was an inspiration for so many things like that. The day today is very interesting for me because the format her and I talked about long before she knew she had any diagnosis. We'd always talked about when we die, we want there to be a party, a celebration of our lives. Lots of drinking, lots of singing, lots of dancing, just having a great time, not to mourn. And that's the other piece that I always felt when I was with her, was this expansion of my heart that we could do something more, and we should do something more. We can't just sit around and just let the world be a crap heap. So, I thought for a long time it'd be me. And I always told her, you make sure that they float me out on a pyre and shoot flaming arrows into my pyre, and then let the party begin. So it's a little bittersweet. She's still here with me in my heart, and I know she's with you too. Thanks.
The Starfish Poem. Once upon a time, there was a wise man who used to go to the ocean to do his writing. He had a habit of walking on the beach before he began his work. One day, he was walking along the shore. As he looked down the beach, he saw a human figure moving like a dancer. He smiled to himself to think of someone who would dance to the day. So he began to walk faster to catch up. As he got closer, he saw that it was a young man, and the young man wasn't dancing, but instead he was reaching down to the shore, picking up something and very gently throwing it into the ocean. As he got closer, he called out, "Good morning, what are you doing?" And the young man paused, looked up, and replied, "Throwing starfish into the ocean. The sun is up and the tide is going out, and if I don't throw them in, they will die." "But young man, don't you realize that there are miles and miles of beach and starfish all along it? You can't possibly make a difference." The young man listened politely, then bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it into the sea past the breaking waves and said, "It made a difference to that one." At times in our lives, we are all the old man, the young man, or the starfish. Sometimes, like the old man, we don't see the purpose to actions. Like the young man, we might persevere and make a difference. And sometimes we are the starfish who just need a little help. This poem exemplifies Kristen perfectly because she was absolutely determined to make a difference. And she did.
I should have been first and it would have been easier. I mean, very first before anybody said anything. I'm Kristen's mom and Katrina's. So I knew her the longest of anybody in the room. And like the things that Barbara said, I might have known some of those things that were going on between the three of them, but I know when Katrina was about 12 years old, Kristen's 4.5 years older, and she taught Katrina how to drive using my car. Mm-hmm. And I found out about that, several years later. Probably when Katrina went to get her driver's license and she didn't have to be taught how to drive, right? So, yeah. Barb and Katrina and Kristen were pretty much inseparable. Barb was my extra daughter. And growing up, Kristen loved horses, and so she and her sister were both in Western Airs. And every Saturday we went out to the Jefferson County Fairgrounds and they practiced riding, and I sat there and watched, and it was lots of fun. David was talking about her being adventurous and always wanting to try something new, to change locations or whatever. And so maybe she inherits that from her probably 10th or 12th great-grandfathers and grandmothers who came to the United States on the Mayflower in 1620. She was a wonderful daughter. She taught me a lot, probably more than I taught her. And she definitely lived her truth. I think it was the morning that she died in the hospital, a nurse came in and asked her if she had had surgery, and she said, maybe I should have. She said, no, maybe I should have, but it just wasn't me. So she, right up to the end, she was able to enjoy the last 18 months of her life doing the things that she loved to do, living here at Sunrise Ranch. And she wouldn't have been able to do that if she had followed traditional treatments or whatever, and taken all that poison into her body. And she was so small that it would have killed her. So, anyway, off to the celebration part. Yes, she told us the week before she died that we were to have a celebration and that we were all to get drunk and have a good time. So I don't drink, so I brought root beer. So anyway, I appreciate all of you being here. She was, I don't think I really knew how much she touched everybody that she met until now. So, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'd just like to say thank you for coming. My name is Katrina. I'm her sister, for those of you who don't know me well. I really wanted to prepare something to say, but I decided nothing could possibly be perfect enough for me to write down and rehearse. And, you know, she was always reminding me, just stay with your truth, Katrina, and be authentic. And so I just wanted to say some words from the heart. And there's nothing that I could say that could ever express the essence of her or our relationship or what we meant to each other. She was my best friend always. She was always there to take care of me, to take me to get in trouble and do things and, you know, teach me things. And, you know, well, we had our fair share of things that we did, you know. I feel like I influenced her a lot, too. She always used to drive me and my friends around and take us to do things we probably shouldn't. been doing. And my mom should probably be happy that ignorance is bliss. Because there's a lot that she just doesn't know and probably would never want to know. But that's fine. Right. And I just, we grew up together and we were always doing things together and inspiring each other and collaborating with each other and bouncing ideas off of each other. And she taught me so much, and I know that she learned a lot from me as well. And it's going to be really hard going forward to not have her here to bounce those ideas off of, like in the physical form. I know she's here, but to bounce those ideas off of and to talk to each other about things. And she was the best aunt ever. She was a second mom to Autumn, and Autumn was so important to her, and she was always there no matter what. And, if there was times that Autumn and I were having our mother-daughter disagreements, Kristen was right there to pick up the pieces and to calm us down and to talk to us and to tell us, just love each other and enjoy the time that you have together and calm down and, think about what's really in your heart. And I really respect her decision. It's really hard for me. I felt like maybe I should have begged her to have surgery or to do something different, but like my mom said, that, really wasn't her. And so, I lost my sister early, and I won't get to make memories with her anymore, and we won't get to be crazy old ladies together and, collaborate and do silly things. And I'm really, really, really gonna miss that, but I'm always gonna have her in my heart and all of our memories and all of her essence, reminding me to be authentic and reminding me to just be brave and courageous and to stand up and say what I have to say and to live life on purpose and to change the world and live my dreams and make a difference for people. And that's really, really, really who she was. So, thank you.
Can I tell something lighthearted to? So I forgot to tell one little story that just describes Kristen to a T. And my husband's going to kill me for telling the story, but he is a record collector, and so he has tons of music. And he spends a lot of time in his man cave listening to music and playing records and stuff like that. Well, Kristen was in high school, I think, maybe, or maybe even younger than that. He was down in his man cave and was listening to music, and the song was, "Come On Baby, Light My Fire." And he was singing along with the song and playing air guitar, and didn't notice that Kristen was standing down the hallway watching him. And the song ended, and she asked him, "Well, did you get your fire lit yet?"
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I've had 4 weeks to think about this and what I was going to say. I had to write some stuff down. And thank you, Kristen, for being in my life. I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for you. You opened my eyes to a lot of new things. We worked well together. We were in balance together. Without you, it would be challenging for sure. You told me to live out my mission, happy, and I will. Mostly because of who you were to me. beyond best friends. You were a mentor of life for me. Always believing there was a next greater thing, not ever seeking, though so very open to receiving. The gifts that came our way because of her. I can't imagine experiencing life any different than what I was able to experience with her. She gave expression and animated life to its fullest, right down to her last days. She never gave up on something she believed in, especially me. She always encouraged me to have a better life, and all I ever tried to do was have a better life with her. And for me, it was always better just because she was there. A story I heard just recently, last week, might kind of give some essence about who she had become, who some of you people here understand about her, and how she's always been. Tracy, one of the ladies from our great homekeeping department here, was telling me that she walked over to the ball field one day, and Kristen was looking up at these trees, or so Tracy thought, and just enthralled with it, the way that Tracy described it. And Kristen noticed that Tracy was over there, and she was like, "Tracy, come here, come here." And she grabbed her and situated her just right, underneath this tree. And she's like, "Now, look up." And Tracy described it, because this was earlier in the summer when the cottonwoods were shedding, that when she looked up, the sun was peeking through all these leaves, glancing off of each other, and the cottonwoods were coming across, and it looked like it was snowing. She said it looked like a fairy tale land. And the comment that she made is that, if she lived that life, it had to have been a fantasy. Everything in her life had to have been a fantasy, because she chose to see those things in life. And that's what she was able to do for me, was to open my eyes to those types of things. Very first vacation, just a memory, that we took. We went out to Iowa to see my parents, and we drove through South Dakota on the way back so that we could get to see Mount Rushmore, and we got to see the Badlands and things like that. And we got into this town, Hot Springs, South Dakota, and we hadn't seen any wild bison. So we stopped, at this little local pub. We walk in, there's like 4 or 5 people in here. And we sat down at one of the tables. I went to go to the bathroom, and I came back, and she's talking with like 3 of the guys up at the bar to find out where these bison are at. And it's just things like that she kept on bringing. David spoke about reciprocity. Reciprocity on Sunday. And it happens. It happens. Believe it. What you put out there, and this is one of the things that she taught me, when you put your life out there, when you pour what you have into your life, it gets returned. Look at all this. I've been shocked almost every day this week. I've had tears in my eyes. Everything that you guys have done for this is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And it's a great way for her to, because she was very vehement on that Sunday before she passed about having a celebration for her. Holy cow. You are going to get drunk, and you are going to drink, even though you're Mormons. Honestly, that's who she was. that's what I want to bring to you, is what I got to live with on a daily basis. You know, and for me personally, I've asked David and the executives if it was possible to possibly create a rose garden here at Sunrise Ranch in memory of her. And he agreed, and they agreed. And that's where the kind of the rose theme goes. It was her favorite flower. When we first got together, in all the way through, anytime that she saw a rose, it didn't matter whether we were in Walmart and we were in a hurry, or whether we were walking through the neighborhoods or whatever. If she saw a rose, she grabbed my arm and, here you go, we're going to go smell the roses. We're going to take time to do this. And I think that the message in that for me, as I reflect, is that she wanted, and I had something here. She always told me to stop and smell the roses because life's too short not to. And I believe it was her way of communicating her consciousness to be here with me in this moment, because this is what you get. And that's the motivation for me to do this for her as far as the rose garden. So I know we have some other things, and I didn't want to drag on too much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Dreamers and optimistic fools, don't let go of your dream. Make it now, make it all come true. If you believe in a brighter day, I know we can find our way to this island in the starry ocean, poetry in motion, this island earth, spinning like a dancer, gravity is the answer. Rendezvous in the blue, this island earth. Well, I don't know what's in store today. We could spread our wings and we could soar away. Or we could go like the dinosaurs, they say. The choice is ours to make. It only seems like this to me. We could wake up one day and be history, or stick around to unravel the mystery of how we came to be on this island in the starry ocean, poetry in motion, this island earth, beautiful oasis for all human races, the only home that we know, this island earth. Well, I know we could touch the stars someday, or kick up the dust on Mars one day, or trip the light on the Milky Way. We've got to find our way. If you're looking for a miracle, open your eyes. There was one this morning, just about sunrise. Dawn came breaking like a wave on the sea. It's there for you and me. Calling all dreamers and optimistic fools. Don't let go. Don't let go of your dream. Make it now. Make it all come true. If you believe in a brighter day, I know we can find our way to this island spinning like a dancer. Gravity is the answer. Rendezvous in the blue, this island earth. Rendezvous with the moon, this island earth. The only home that we know. This island earth.
Beautiful, so touching. Thank you. Well, as we begin to come to the close of our time here together in the Dome, I wonder if we might try something together. So see if you're up for this. I want you to hold your hand out like so, right in front of you. And just imagine that you have some Kristen fairy dust sitting on your hand. Okay, you got that? And now, just imagine you have the ability to blow some of that fairy dust into the person to your right and to your left and around this room so that we can all take in just a bit of that Kristen fairy dust, her spirit, okay? So with a nice deep breath. I think we did it. Please join me in a closing prayer. O great reality that we call by so many names, we lift our hearts to Thee in these moments. Our common source and origin, the place from which all hope, all love, all truth, and all life emerges. We give thanks for this life that we know, and we live it to the fullest. We would be the most real that we could be. And we give thanks for the life that we know in each other. And particularly today, we give great thanks for the life that we've known through Kristen. May we cherish that forever. May we bless her on her way, knowing that she's never too far. Give thanks for the community of love that we know with one another, and that we always have the opportunity to share with each other and with all people. May we be true to that love in all things and at all times. Amen. I want to say a word about the opportunities that lie before us in the remainder of the day. We're holding a reception over in the pavilion on the other side of the road, about over there. You're all welcome to come, enjoy the refreshments in each other's company, and enjoy this ongoing celebration of Kristen's spirit. And then following that, we will have an opportunity to come back over to this side of the road, and there's a dirt road that runs along this way up to the base of the rimrock, where there's a grassy area and a fire pit, and there'll be a time for fulfilling Kristen's dreams for this day, to dance and celebrate and sing and share stories if we like, and to enjoy refreshments together, and enjoy relishing in Kristen's spirit that we share with one another. So thank you for being here today. And our love is particularly with those of you who are Kristen's family and closest friends. Our love is with you and surrounds you, and our care is with you. May you be safe on your way. May you find peace in your heart, and may you find yourselves blessed by her Spirit in all things, and by us. Thank you all.
Amen.